Hi, friends. Okay. Now, I might ruffle some feathers here, but I need to tell you something about side hustles that most people won't. I'm Stephanie, and in this video, I'm going to reveal three critical warnings about side hustles that nobody's talking about. And trust me, as someone who's built multiple income streams while being a single mom, I've learned these lessons the hard way. What I'm about to share might be controversial, especially the third point. But if you understand it, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, it can literally change how you approach a side hustle and dramatically increase your chances of success. So, number one, you must consider missed opportunity costs. And here's what I mean by that. Let me just tell you a little story. Kind of hurts to share, but I was in the middle of starting a franchise business. If you've listened to this show, you have probably heard that that did not go how I planned. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but at any rate, it was one of these proven side hustles that everybody talks about where you can start up a franchise and continue with your career and it runs on itself. I was spending countless hours on business plan, finding the location, doing the franchise training, hiring employees. I did a whole construction build out, and my mind was constantly spinning with inventory, employees, staffing, startup costs. And what I didn't realize that I found out in hindsight is that while I was building this side business, I was missing crucial signals at my day job. I was distracted. Important meetings, I was kind of half present at. Strategic conversations, I wasn't really fully engaging in. Subtle organizational changes, I wasn't clued in and noticing. And the bottom line was, if I'm being honest, I wasn't adding value like I was accustomed to. In my long-standing career, it has always been very important to me to always add value, no matter what I was doing. And if I'm being honest, you cannot focus on two big things at the same time. So, hindsight, I probably wasn't adding value like I have always been doing. And this hit me hard. And in the midst of all this, we had a major merger and a major restructuring, and I completely missed my opportunity to position myself for a key leadership role. Instead, my peer was promoted above me and became my boss, and I felt completely body slapped. Someone else who was fully focused and reading the room, as they say, saw the opportunity coming, positioned themselves, and got the role. So not only was I missing a career opportunity, it fractured my relationship with my then boss and my longstanding mentor of over a decade. There was a real cost as far as financially with not getting the role, but also a cost with a relationship, with a business relationship that had really been working for me. So think about it. While I was spending evenings and weekends obsessing over this franchise business that wasn't even making money, I missed a real opportunity in my career. And I'm not alone. I see this happen all the time. People get super excited about a side hustle or business, and it pulls them from their primary career or job because it's very hard to focus on multiple things at once. And like I said, that franchise didn't even make it. Ended up selling it for far less than I had put into it. And that was an opportunity cost. It was a missed opportunity that cost me something. Point number two is the reality of passive income. You get all over the internet, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, or wherever, and influencers are talking about passive income. Create your passive income, specifically in the field of real estate investing, which I know intimately. I've been a real estate investor for over 15 years, and people are constantly talking about it as passive income, when in reality, it is a continuum. It can be very active and it can be passive, and most likely it's somewhere in between. The reality, if you haven't structured whatever it is to be truly passive, so again, in my case, in the real estate investing example, let's say you buy a property, you rent it out to tenants, and you think it's just going to flow in passive money. But the reality is at midnight, you're in your pajamas, you get a call. Next thing you know, you're standing in the middle of one of your rental properties with my two sleepy kids beside me because the pipes had burst. It's happened over and over again. It's not exactly glamorous lifestyle that the gurus promise. I mean, this was the actual schedule, and you can ask people that worked with me. I showed the property at lunches, so I would hurry up at my lunch break from my job and show properties to prospective tenants. I would interview tenants after work and take them on tours. I would coordinate contractors and repairs when things needed to be done. And the truth is, I dragged my young kids over there constantly. Every weekend, there was to mow the lawn, needed to pick up trash, needed to collect rents. I remember at one point, I had very early on, I had a tenant that would pay cash. And we would meet halfway between the rental and my house at the Sheplers. And I would drive up with my kids in the back seat and get out and collect the cash. Like it looked like we were doing a drug deal. Now, there is definitely passive real estate investing opportunities, and I've been in many of them. But you need to know that if this is going to be your side hustle or anything else, when someone touts it as passive, there's a continuum usually, and you need to ensure you're not just taking on a new job. My rental properties for the first 10 years was definitely a second job. It was a second job. It was a lot of work, and nothing about it was passive. So that's the second warning to beware of. The third, which I kind of teed up earlier, the third is that you need to know building a side hustle or another business usually takes more time than you think it will. And I'm telling you this as being the most important because expectation is everything. If you go into something expecting to be an overnight millionaire, you're going to likely be very disappointed. So if you go in to a side hustle knowing it's going to take time, then your expectation is different and your opportunity to succeed is much different. Everyone on social media is showing you their highlight reel. They're not showing you the reality of the work behind the scenes. They're not showing you the blooper reel, which would be hilarious because there's usually much more bloopers along the way than success. As they say, nobody is an overnight success. It looks like they are, but endless hard effort went into that. The reality check for me is that it took me over a decade to build successful income streams. Now, of course, you're making money along the way, but a decade to really build up to something that was meaningful. Here's why this is actually good news. Once you accept this timeline reality, everything can shift. You stop making kind of desperate moves. You start making more strategic ones. You stop feeling like a failure because things didn't happen overnight for you. And it looks like it happened overnight for everybody else on the internet. And you can start building something sustainable. This mindset shift can change everything. I promise you. And it will keep you from burning out and giving up. I talk a lot about how important expectations are. And it is possible to build multiple income streams, to build side hustles that create income, which is why I recorded a step-by-step video showing exactly how I built 4 income streams as a single mom and how you can do it too. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one. And remember, you have the power to change your financial future, and I'm here cheering you on every step of the way.